Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to week 29 of our portfolio review, where we go over our buys and sells as well as the gains and losses in our portfolio. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. As you guys can see, I was down $395.67, and I gained $11.31 during after hours trading. For the week, we had a big sell-off on July 17th, and we couldn't recover. We're going to go over in detail as to why I believe that happened a little later in the video. But we were down $805.60 for a total loss of 2.2% on the portfolio. For the month, we're down $234.59 for a total loss of 0.65% loss. For the last 3 months, we're down $12.64 for a total loss of 0.4%. For the year, we're still up $8,815.43 for a total return of 32.8%. Our all-time, we're still up $9,358.58 at 35.61%. Now, for the buys and sells, the only company that we added to this week was Johnson & Johnson. We added 3 shares of Johnson & Johnson, and we will still continue to add to Johnson & Johnson each week. So we'll go into each company for our gains and losses. We'll start off with Disney. Disney had a really rough week this week, as we were down 1.25% today, and overall for the week we were down 3.5% for a total loss of $5.13 on the stock. The reason why I believe this actually happened is if we go over to the 17th, we will see that right during the 17th there was a big sell-off, and I believe that this was contributed to Netflix's earnings, and I'll get into the reasons why, as each one of the media sectors that I'm following also had this big dip. As we can see, Comcast broke out and it reached a new all-time high before dropping down on the 17th as well, and our media companies never recovered. So those are 2 stocks that I currently own. We'll look into where is it at? We'll look into AT&T, and if you look into AT&T, I don't own AT&T, but you can see the same thing happen. AT&T dropped off exactly like all the other media companies, and they never recovered, and it was in part due to, sorry about that, you guys. It was in part due to Netflix having missed its guidance for the total ads that they were going to get. They projected that they were going to add 5 million new subscribers, and they only added 2.7, as well as they lost 12,000 U.S. subscribers. So Netflix did not have a good earnings call, and as you can see, that 17th dip is in line with all the rest of the other media stocks. But we'll get into the gains and losses in our stocks. So for Disney didn't have any news that I was able to find or anything else like that. I know Lion King does come out this weekend. But for Disney, last week we were up $4,041.07 for a 29% return. This week we're only up $3,445.85 for a total return of 24.7%. Disney will also be paying us a dividend. Their dividend will be paid on the 25th for $109.12. So we look forward to Disney's dividend payment. Next, we'll get into Comcast. Last week in Comcast, we were up $1,027.36 for a total return of 28%. This week, we're up $942.08 for a total return of 25.85%. Comcast will also give us a dividend, and they will be reporting earnings on the 25th. So we look forward to Comcast earnings, and hopefully there's a surprise beat in it, and hopefully they revisit their new all-time high that they set this week of $45.26. So we'll be looking out for Comcast. The dividend for Comcast will be paid on the 24th for $21.84. Next is Johnson & Johnson. Like I said, we added 3 shares of Johnson & Johnson. Last week, we were down $15.64 for a total loss of 3.7%. This week, we're down on Johnson & Johnson $34.49 for a total loss of 4.23%. Johnson & Johnson had a great earnings call. The only noticeable thing that I want to make mention of in this update is they talked about the case that wrapped up on Monday for the opioid case in Oklahoma, where they cited that they believe that they're not worried about the case. They do have, they are building a reserve of cash just in case something does happen. And they also cited that anytime they lose a case, I think it was between 85 to 100%, they usually win the case on an appeal. They win the case back on an appeal, and they're really not too concerned about the outcome. The judge did cite that it would take him a month before he actually ruled on the case. So we will continue to hold. As you can see, my buying power, I'm sitting at $437.07. The dividends from Disney and Comcast next week will also be added to that buying power, and we'll buy a share of Johnson & Johnson, and anytime it dips below 5%, we'll add an additional share during that week. So that's our strategy for holding Johnson & Johnson. As if we just look at the stock, it was down $5.17 for a total loss of 3.82%. We'll have to probably go into the yearly to figure out where its next support line is, and it looks like it'll probably be that $28.80 mark. That's not going to stop me from adding a share each Monday, but that's where the company looks like it might be headed, as I don't see any positive news or positive catalyst that's going to stop this from this downward trend that it's facing right now. So that's Johnson & Johnson. Aurora Cannabis, last week I told you guys I was going to keep an eye on a stock, and I was probably going to have to do a stop loss on Aurora Cannabis, but that was not the case, as the stock recovered, and it was one of 2 stocks that I was positive for this week. As Aurora Cannabis, it recovered. It was up to $7.45 at one point, and then there were 2 pieces of news. There was a good piece of news and a bad piece of news, and I think the bad piece of news outweighed everything, as the company it dropped the 17th like all my other stocks did. But the first bit of news that came out was from Bank of America. They gave it a downgrade from a buy to neutral, as the company, they cited that the company is burning through its cash, and this will continue until they get some type of partnership. So I'm thinking that these analysts will be putting pressure on Aurora Cannabis to hurry up and let somebody know what's going on with these deal situations. So that was a big sell-off for Aurora Cannabis. They cited that, so that was the reason why they gave it the downgrade, and the price target dropped from, their price target was $11. They dropped it down to $8 while they have it in this neutral territory. So we have to wait and see what Aurora Cannabis does from here. Now, the good piece of news was they got they won. They were the only marijuana company out of 5 companies that were applying for a license to cultivate in Italy, and they were the only company to win that. This is the second time in 6 months that I've seen this company do that. They won 7 out of 13 cultivation lots in Germany. This was back, I think, in January or February or something like that. They won 7 out of 13 lots, and this can show you guys how powerful the company is and how far ahead the company is as far as its regulation standards and its ability to grow quality marijuana, medical marijuana for these countries. So these countries really believe in the company, and that's why I am holding this particular marijuana company. So that news did not take off the way that I expected it to, as both pieces of news, I think the Bank of America downgrade and then the news from Italy came out within an hour of each other. So in Aurora Cannabis, last week I was up $364.85 for a total return of 11%. This week we're up $370 for a total return of 11.35%. So this is one of 2 stocks that were positive for me. The next stock was Bank of America. Bank of America also had earnings this week, as they had a great earnings report. They beat their expected earnings 74 cents versus the expected 71 cents. The only thing that I noted that investors have to keep an eye on is in the conference call they kept talking about their net interest income, and they cited that if the feds do lower interest rates, that this will be a problem for them, and this is one of the metrics that analysts use to grade Bank of America. So if we do get those rate cuts at the end of the month, it could cite a little bit of trouble for Bank of America. I'm not worried, as I will continue to add to Bank of America if it does dip below my average cost. So Bank of America, last week we were up $120.91. This week we were only up $104.35 for a total return of 1.9%. One other thing, I just want to show you guys the monthly, as they had a double top that was going on. It was for $29.45. Once they hit their earnings, they actually were sitting. Their earnings call was on Wednesday, and they were floating above that. They beat out that double top, and they were trading from 29.62, and then they were like just in a tunnel. They were just in a tunnel, and that tunnel broke off probably during the last couple minutes during the trading section of today, and now they're back sitting underneath that double top that they had created. So you guys got to watch out, and we'll see what goes on with Bank of America in these next coming weeks. And then we have Apple. There is nothing really to report in Apple, as this is just collecting a dividend until I make the decision to buy V&Q. That's the Vanguard monthly REIT stock that I've been looking at, and I'll probably be dumping my shares of Apple. I'm just not sure when I want to pull the trigger, so I'll be holding on to that. But that's it for the stocks. We are going to go into our subscriber portfolio. Our subscriber portfolio, I think it held up a little bit better than this portfolio. As last week we were up, $13.57. This week we're up $13.52. So we lost 5 cents. We have a total return of 7.25%. Starbucks had better results than last week, as they were up $13.88 this week, and last week they were up $13.49. Uber, we actually lost some ground, as we were up 14 cents last week, and this week we're only up 27 cents. But that's basically it for our portfolio review. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comment section, and I will reach out to you guys as soon as possible. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you guys next Friday. Thank you.